All right, here's the Patreon Q&A questions. Here's the Patreon Q&A questions for the week. Don't look at me like a creep like that. Don't look at me like that.
No.
Go to patreon.com/CUpodcast. If you want to ask a question, we have our hotline number there. It's not really a hotline because we're not answering. You want to get a live line eventually? That would go probably well.
I think we should do that, yeah.
It'll be fun. Here's the first question.
Hey, Ian and Pat, this is Alan Thompson, or at Regular Nintendo on Twitter. I was wondering what your opinions were on Nintendo's disconnection policy on Splatoon 2, being that the Switch has kind of a poor connectivity to the internet. And do you think it's good or bad? And going forward, do you think Nintendo will keep doing this? All right, thank you.
I saw a tweet about this, so I think they will suspend your account, I guess, if they think you're leaving games without losing properly. And so someone showed a screenshot of it, or like they said, yeah, it looks like it looks like you left the game, but you really didn't do it properly. So they like suspend your account for a little bit. That's what I saw.
I've been knocked out of a game maybe twice. I haven't seen Vonnie knocked out of a game very often. Maybe our connection is just pretty solid. But when we have been knocked out, I haven't seen that notice come up. So
You have or have not?
Have not.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's looking for something specific, if it's looking for an actual disconnect from, a broadband modem or a cable modem or whatever the fuck they call them these days. But a 56K modem, a
It's
dial.
like broadband, you're 128.8?
Yeah, 128.8. I mean, I don't know. But it hasn't been an issue. And while Nintendo's network may not be the greatest, I have not had any issues with it on the Switch yet. I haven't.
This is the message. Your previous online play session didn't end naturally, which is pretty suspicious. If this keeps happening, we're going to have to block you from playing online for a while. Make sure your internet isn't busted and try again. Pretty strong words from Nintendo.
It is. The thing is if everyone had the perception that Nintendo's internet was running smoothly and they did not put this in, people would be complaining all over the place.
Sure. Damned if you do.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like I said, I have not been having any problems with my connectivity involving Splatoon. That said, I've been having teammates drop on my teams in Splatoon 2, but I had my teammates drop in teams on Splatoon 1. I'm not experiencing any difference really in gameplay between Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 in terms of my own drops and my teammates' drops, which is to say that I get a full team per game on average 85 to 90%. And I've never once seen that message. So I think Nintendo kind of has to do this.
You have to err on the side of caution, right?
Especially as Splatoon 2 does seem to have a more competitive element, even in its more casual areas. I can't really fault Nintendo for doing this.
Sure. Thanks for the question, Alan.
Yeah.
Tall glass of water. Next question.
Hey, Pat and Ian, this is Chris from Bluffton, Ohio. My question for you guys is, what do you guys think of Sony purchasing Funimation and what it means for the anime industry in the United States? Is it good, bad, just a cash grab? And possible implications for Hollywood? Thank you.
I'll defer to you. Thanks for the question, Chris.
So did he say Funimation?
Sony purchasing Funimation.
Well, I mean, the first thing that I would hope is that Sony could get that fucking Funimation app into some sort of workable shape. Because
is the app not good?
It's awful.
It's like a Netflix sort of thing?
It's just miserable. So Funimation is an anime streaming service that is well known for having the rights to a lot of the Shonen Jump anime, basically like Bleach, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto. A lot of like the basically, that actually means Shonen Jump. Like it means like teenage boy centric anime.
Okay.
Not that that's the only people who watch it, but it's a big business.
Okay, the streaming website launched this year has over 400 titles, including Dragon Ball Z, Cowboy Bebop, One Piece, and Attack on Titan.
Yeah, so it's big. I would like to think that Sony could whip it into shape and get the app into something that's a little bit more usable.
They bought 95% is what they're trying to do.
I hope that it increases distribution. I would hope that having something like Sony would decrease the cost of things like Blu-ray sets, which are, with anime, normally extremely expensive. Obviously, as far as streaming goes, this could, I don't know, I haven't looked into it, potentially screw people over with Xbox Ones who want the streaming app, but I doubt it because they're going to want the money.
Money's money. You don't give up customers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it could be bad, but I really don't see Sony, A, turning down money, and B, Funimation seemed like they had so little idea of what they were doing with their streaming service that I think Sony can get that going, and Funimation can focus on acquiring licenses.
Thanks for the question. And the last one for this time out.
Hey, Ian. My name is Rashid Al-Sayyar from United Arab Emirates, Dubai. Big fan of the show. Been with you guys, listening to the podcast from the start. I want to thank you for the podcast and everything. My question is, what do you guys think of the developers starting porting mobile games to the Switch? Is it a good thing, or does it diminish the quality of library of their own games on the Switch? And maybe if Nintendo does not quality control, maybe all of the freemium mobile games will start taking over the Switch. Thank you guys.
Okay, that was Rasha, I believe, from Dubai.
What I understood that to be was, what do you think about the potential of mobile games taking over the Switch?
Yes, or would that dilute the library and bring down the quality? I would think Nintendo would be very careful about what they would bring over. They're not that desperate to get games on the Switch that they would just take any old mobile game and have it on there.
No, but they have put some mobile games on there, and the ones that they've put on there, I think, have been reasonable decisions. One, when you get the thing I like about mobile games on consoles is it almost always eliminates in-app purchases. So you finally
you get everything.
When you buy it, you know you're getting everything. So if you messed around with a game on your phone, or if you were always interested in a game but you never touched it because of in-app purchases, and this game suddenly appears on your any system, because I mean, honestly, this isn't really just a Switch question, for $9.99, to me it suddenly becomes like, oh, okay, I will try this for this price because it has everything. So, that's a benefit, I think, to mobile games being ported to consoles. Also, you get real controls, which is something that I think is beneficial to a lot of games. You just have to be careful to what... The companies have to be careful to what they port over, and the consumers have to be careful to what they buy.
I'm trying to find a list. I can't find one of all the mobile games that are on there.
But, there's one called Voez for Switch, which is only playable in portable mode, and it's a touch-only rhythm game. But there's no in-app purchases whatsoever. So when you buy the game, you just get the whole thing, and you go and you play, and that's nice. To use an old, outdated example, all of the Angry Birds games, you would buy them and you would just get everything right off the bat. That's nice. It's just nice to have everything together in one package. But I don't think we have to worry about these things taking over. A lot of these mobile game purchases can be looked at the same way as cell phone purchases, I think, especially from the point of view of a person who owns a console and plays video games. If you own a console like a Switch, and you've paid $300 for this thing, and you're going to go out and play it, these, you're not expecting anything more than a distraction from these. So if you're buying the whole package, what I'm getting at is this is not going to take over the system for you.
No, because why?
Otherwise, you never would have bought the Switch. You would have stuck with your phone.
A phone's more portable than a Switch to begin with. Wherever you're going with the Switch, you have your phone to play these games.
Yeah.
So unless they're going to put in some weird-ass feature that you can't get on the phone, which I can't imagine how that would work or why they would do that.
It's generally cheaper to buy the complete mobile game on a system than it is on a phone through IAP. That's basically it.
I just still would rather have my phone because you're going to be in a situation where you have your phone that you won't have your Switch, so you'll at least have it on there. You're not going to double buy. I would never double buy a game like that. That wouldn't be a point.
Either way, it's not going to cross over or
Sure.
cause that much of a problem, I don't think.
Mobile's like, download it now on Nintendo Switch. I don't know. Is it going to see that? I don't know. Going to see a certain NES guide app on the Switch? Wait a minute. Anyway, thanks for the questions. Ian, how could people in the future ask us questions on the CU Podcast hotline?
www.patreon.com/CU podcast.
There you go. That's why Ian makes the big bucks.